many buffs and nerfs to spears, trident killers in Java, and how to get the new copper cape. Hello there, Ray here. We got a brand new snapshot today. This is 25W42A, and after we talk about all the changes that come out with it, we'll talk about how you guys can get the new copper cape. So drop a like and let's get into it. They did it, guys. We can finally put mending with a lunging spear, which means now when we do the lunge effect, despite using a lot of durability, which it still removes 120 durability every time you use it, we can now use XPs in order to repair it. So all that complaining online finally got this into the game. Now, would you rather have it so that the lunge did not use so much durability to start with, rather than having mending? Let me know in the comments. And the crazy trick that I discovered where you can apply the Maze Windburst onto the spear's offhand charge attack, which allowed me to do really crazy stuff like instant kill the Warden and even go all the way to the World Border. That has been now nerfed today, which a lot of you guys did not think would get nerfed. I did a poll asking you guys, and out of 8,000 people that voted, 50% thought they would not nerf the spear tricks. And you'll get to see these polls as well as participate in the conversations if you guys are subscribed with the bell notification set to all. Do you think this nerf was justified? Now, in the last snapshot review video, I showed this bug with tridents where they could keep damaging you despite already hitting you once. But this is not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to be constantly bombarded by the same trident after it already hit you. And this happens to do with the data within the trident once it hits something. It has a special tag which is called dealt damage. And normally as soon as it hits into the ground, then all of a sudden it loses its ability to do damage to anything that's below it. But because this dealt damage tag was messed up, most likely when they were designing the new trident holding drowns, they're trying to make them attack people on top of the zombie Nautilus and end up having to change that stuff to make that work. And when they were probably messing around, they accidentally removed pieces of this code, which means that even though you normally shouldn't get XPs or special loot from dropping a trident on top of something that's already been used before, all of a sudden it now works again. You can keep reusing the same trident to get XPs off of a mob, as well as like looting 3 loot, all while the player not even having to be there. Now they do have this in Bedrock Edition, and they're called trident killers, where they just keep making a trident fall back down to the ground. And then if there's any mobs there, it will apply whichever player threw the trident as a person that ends up hitting the mob underneath of it. You can see I'm getting XPs off of these, and if I hold a super high looting sword, now when they die, it will produce all the loot that comes off the looting sword, which is insane. But this all stems back to the problem that they originally made when adding the drowns that have the tridents on top of the Nautilus. But they didn't change anything about this trident thing in today's snapshot, so they're definitely going to have to fix at least the drown problem. But if they want to leave in the trident killers, I think most people would be happy. If added, this would allow for many more types of automation, as you can get looting from mobs without even having to be remotely close. But how do you think they should handle this? They removed the ability to charge and hit mobs through walls, probably because this is supposed to be like an actual physical barrier they're not supposed to be able to hit through. But it was fun while it lasted. You don't have to worry about accidentally breaking your item frames off when using the charged spear now, as they remove that ability. You can no longer use the sharpness from the spear in the offhand to hurt mobs, allowing you to easily kill mobs despite just punching them with your fist. Now, blocking with a shield will work against spear attacks, even ones that have fire aspects, so you won't get lit on fire anymore. They also nerfed the spear so you won't be able to multiple hit the mob that is in front of you, as the spear's charge attack was applying every 10 game ticks or every half second, meaning that you could keep running through a mob, it would keep damaging that same mob. Personally, I thought this was one of the coolest properties of the spear. You just hold it down and keep doing damage. So what do you think of this nerf? Giving yourself a high level of lunge enchantment using creative will no longer cause the game to lag extremely bad. So if you want to make some crazy parkour maps, then go for it. With the new gold items like the spear as well as the Nautilus shell, piglins will now see these as being gold items and they'll actually pick them up and store them away. But there is this other problem that the Nether is actually considered the overworld, and the piglins will actually get converted into zombified piglins just by being in this biome. During my stream, I also noticed that zombified piglins that spawn out of portal blocks in the overworld will be holding the new gold spear instead of a gold sword. I showed how you can use furnaces to smelt down the new Nautilus armor, but now we can also use blast furnaces to convert these non-renewable items into nuggets. Also, if you're wondering how to get the netherite Nautilus shell, you have to upgrade a diamond one that you find inside of a chest with a smithing table in order to get it, which probably means we're going to get netherite horse armor by upgrading our diamond horse armor, although right now we can't stick it inside there. Do you think they should add in netherite horse armor into the game? It's now possible to ride Nautilus off of land. Just in case you got stuck on land, you can get back off and into the water again. Otherwise, before, as soon as they get on land, then you would just end up not being able to get them back into the water unless you hopped off of them and pushed them. Nautiluses, as well as zombie Nautiluses, will now naturally despawn just like they can spawn in. The zombie horses and zombie Nautilus can now spawn in peaceful mode. That once you defeat the rider off of the zombie horse, you can now use leads on these guys to move around like a normal horse. The zombies that spawn on top of zombie horses will now exclusively only hold spears, when before they would sometimes spawn in with other weapons on top of these guys. Skeleton horses will no longer burn in the daylight. This was definitely not intended since they never burned before. Lightning will once again be able to deoxidize blocks that are beside it, when before it was just leaving them like normal. You know how different biomes have different colored stuff? So like this grass here looks different than this grass over here in the jungle compared to the forest. And this same thing is done with other things like water and fog. And these are all known as environmental attributes. This ability to change the color stuff depending on its attribute is now accessible for pretty much everything in the game. So you can make a wide variety of different variations of things in the game and make them change depending on what type of attribute they have. Now this is in probably preparation for the Java edition in order to get the vibrant visuals like Bedrock. This is probably just an easy way for them to kind of like do this to all the different biomes and color stuff without them having to individually redo the textures. But they said they will be adding in some very experimental ones, so it'll be interesting to see what they do. And they list out all the different types from clouds to lava, so I'm sure modders will have fun with all of this. Although if you're a vanilla survival player, you won't really notice these changes. If you would accidentally have an effect on your character when you log out into the game, whenever I tried logging into the game in the new snapshot, this message would come up saying connection lost, invalid player data. And because most of my worlds I have night vision turned on automatically, pretty much every single one of my worlds I could not access during the snapshot, but this is finally fixed today, which is really cool. And Minecraft also fixed these other behind the scene bugs related to bugs that came up during the snapshot, as well as other visual problems. And Bedrock Edition just got the preview for the Mounts of Mayhem update. This includes the Nautilus, the armor, the zombie Nautilus, the spears, as well as the zombie horses. The Bedrock Edition people can play around with the new stuff. You can finally get your Minecraft Copper Cape today. Over the past week, Minecraft's been running these challenges, but the first one we had to place down 75 million copper golems as a community. Then we had to have them organize 500 million items, and this will get us the new plushie for Bedrock Edition, new skin for Java Edition, as well as new slippers for Bedrock Edition and a new skin for Java Edition. But the third challenge is now available, and that will actually get the cape. And unlike the previous two, which you didn't have to participate in order to get the items, you do have to participate if you want to get the copper cape. So do this one right away and let all your friends know about it so they don't miss out on it. Now you want to get this cape before October 20th, so before next week's Monday. After that, you won't be able to get it. And you can see the cape actually looks really cool. Not only does it have like oxidized and normal version and some in between, but when you open it up and it's elytra, it looks like the copper grades, which are like little holes in between. That's really nice. So there's actually 3 different ways you guys can get this cape. The first one, you just have to watch my Twitch or TikTok live stream, which I will be live streaming both those platforms right after this video goes out with the link down below. So just hop over there and watch for 5 minutes, and then you'll be given a code in your notifications on Twitch, or in the top left hand corner on TikTok mobile, you will also be given a little notification that you just click on. That will also give you the code. But no matter where you get your code, you just go to the Minecraft Redeem and you put your code in after logging into the account that you want it to be placed on. And you want to make sure you use the code up before November 19th. Then the cape will show up on your account by the end of the month. The next way you can get the cape is in-game. It has to be in the Bedrock Edition game, and you have to place in a copper golem statue item. Now if you don't already have one of these, then what you want to do is place in an oxidized block that's copper and place in a carved pumpkin on top of it, and that will produce one of these guys. Now these guys, because they're oxidized, they'll freeze in about 8 seconds, and just like that you can get your statue. But at this point you still need to place it, so you have to break it down and then just pick it up and then just place it again. And then yeah, you will get the cape by the end of the month. But you can also do the same thing in creative mode, in which case all you have to do is go into the creative menu, grab a copper golem statue, and then just place one down. And just like that, you got the requirement for getting the cape. And if you want tons of oxidized blocks or ways to automatically wax or de-wax them, we did make this really cool machine here, which lets you AFK and get all the different oxidized blocks in the game. And this weekend, I will be coming out a video where I show you how you can make an automatic copper statue farm for all you guys that want to get tons of those lovely guys. The last way you can get the cape is kind of an interesting one, but if you go to the MCC event at the TwitchCon San Diego, which is between October 17th and 19th, and if you go up to the Minecraft booth there, you can get a physical code which you can redeem for the copper cape. Let me know which way you're going to go for the cape. Now come get your cape by watching my Twitch live stream or my TikTok live stream with the links down in the description. And big thanks to all my supporters here on screen, and I'll see you guys all over there. Bye bye!